Hi, all. This is Dr. J at 11, broadcasting live, streaming live from Long Island, New York. Need a little something after that. Ah, how sweet it is. Those of you who are old enough would know Jackie Gleason used to like to drink water on television during his live shows and say something like that, how sweet it is. In any event, those of you who don't know Jackie Gleason, but do know Geron or do know the Nasdaq or do know the Dow, this is for you. This show is for you, and it's a recap of the day's events. So, of course, do your own due diligence. Don't listen to everything Dr. J says, just the things that I'm right about. I'm just kidding. Get the help of an investment advisor. Um, Be responsible for your own investment decisions. If you do follow me, then it's at your own risk. Occasionally, I do have some good ideas. In any event, I'm not sure that I'm going to give you any fab ideas today, but let's take a look at how the market did. I have a long list of stocks, including some hot ones and some that aren't so hot. So let's begin by sharing screen. That'll take about 3.5 seconds timer. Okay, maybe a little more. All right, share screen and minimize. And let's go right to the Dow. The Dow, I've been talking about the Dow for, it seems like, for months, making its new high of the year, and it did it just today. It took it took from end of January till almost the end of September for the Dow to make a new high at 26. What was the high of the day today? High of the day today was, let's see, was it, I can't, keeps jumping around. Well, it surpassed the 26,616. It closed up 251, or about 1%. At 26,656. It was higher, as you could tell, the wick of the candle is higher than the body, so it was actually higher during the day. By how much? Let's see if I can get it. High was 697, not much higher. Okay, so I said Dow is going to do that. Dow is going to join the party with the Nasdaq and the S&P, and it did. Now that it's joined the party, I think it's time for the IBB to make a tremendous move to make new highs, and that would be multi-year highs. The IBB is way off its highs. I don't have the chart, but I like the IBB. I love the biotechs. That would be small cap, middle cap, and large cap. So I think that's going to be the next hot sector, along with the NASDAQ, along with the entire market. I think penny stocks will start to get a sizzle. I think you're going to get a zippity doo-dah type rally going forward for the next 4 months. One that maybe has never been seen before. That kind of proportion, zoom, zoom, zoom. I think also this implies good things for the incumbents in the midterm elections. When the economy is doing great, when the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P are doing great, usually most incumbents get in. So those Democrats who are counting on midterms to grab control of the House, it's going to be tough sledding, in my opinion. Not that I'm political, I really am apolitical. So I just basically into nerdy stuff like math and computer science and charts and stocks and biotechs, technology in general. All right, in any event, it's just a curiosity that I noticed that when the economy is good, the incumbents do well generally. Let's see. We'll soon find out come November whether that holds this time, and also whether the stock market stays up there. I think it will. I think it'll be very healthy going into those elections. So that again is an interesting aside. I have a lot to talk about, so I shouldn't be talking too much about politics that I know very little about, other than that, to make that comment. All right, so we're sharing screen, but we're looking at the Dow. The Dow cleared the old high and is in a tremendous upward channel. It's gone parabolic. So the Dow is like making new 200-point moves a day. That could go on. I have no idea how long that's going to go on for, but maybe a little retrace and then a continuation of this rally. All right, let's look at Geron again. I'm just going to go in order so I don't leave anything out. You might want to skip around. If you're not a Geron fan, you can just try to skip through this. If you're not watching live, that is with me. Okay, so Geron was down a penny to 550. Geron has been a very lively trending stock on StockTwits because there is a lot going on. There's a big decision coming up. As many of you know, that J&J has to decide through its Janssen subsidiary whether to continue the trials of imetelstat, the Geron drug that they're partnering with Geron with. So they have to decide by the end of September. This is a huge decision. It affects the very survival of Geron and its future. So Geron shareholders are on pins and needles, whether they are long or short, awaiting this decision. And of course, it could be other things other than a positive or negative continuation. Last time, 6 months ago, there was an extension. If there was an extension 6 months ago, who's to say there can't be one now? Also, buyout is possible, always possible. Just like when I was in Juno and 10% of Juno was owned by Celgene, I kept telling everyone I know Celgene's going to buy them. And sure enough, they did. I tripled my investment at some point on Juno. I had done very well on Juno, in and out several times. I'm hoping to have similar luck with Geron. If they get bought, I would expect 4 times what it's trading at now, 4 times 550, or about $22 a share, maybe a little bit more, which would be normally quite a huge buyout for any company to get a multiple of 4. But this is a special circumstance. iMet is a special drug, imetelstat. So if you look at the chart, it's very boring. It's well contained in the lower end of its upward channel, and it's just waiting. So I don't care whether the color is green, red, orange, purple, blue, whatever the candle is, it's not going anywhere till news. And a lot of astute Twitter friends and Twitter and StockTwits friends have remarked that the chart means nothing at this point. And I agree. I think essentially the chart is a reflection of the situation that Geron is in. And therefore, I would expect nothing more than what's been happening, up or down a few pennies a day. Okay, let's take a look at Advaxis. If you want to know my opinion, whether it'll be positive or negative, you please see the midday update, and please see look back a little bit for other remarks and vlogs that I've done on Geron. Advaxis is a stock that I'm very, very high on. There's a new CEO that seems very sharp. There's a burden of a trial being stopped by the FDA. A clinical hold, they call it, has been lifted. So their listeria-based immunotherapy product is being tested for various indications, partnering with the likes of AstraZeneca, Merck, Bristol Myers Squibb. I mean, come on, you can't, every name in the book. This is a baby blue chip Advaxis. If their immunotherapy drugs can be used in conjunction with these PD-1 inhibitors, I think they're called, that Keytruda for Merck and Opdivo for, I think it's Opdivo for Bristol Myers Squibb's and AstraZeneca's version, then it's a phenomenal thing. Advaxis can be on the map. And also there's other programs, other clinical trials that they're involved in, I think 5 altogether. So you have an immunotherapy company with 5 irons in the fire at ridiculously low valuations. Their market cap is way low. Their stock price is way low. They did an offering at 120. They went to 80 cents. I see 120 in the cards. I've been accumulating. It may cost me to accumulate this early, but I don't care. I will buy the dips, and I will not sell little rips, but I might sell a big rip. Back to the 115 stage is about when I expect to take profits. 115 is a number that I had in mind. Why? Let's see why. I drew the line right here at the low on 712, which was $1.15. I think that would be a good place to take profits, and that's probably where I will take some profits. Of course, I'm talking optimistic. It could go to 75 cents. It could go to 50 cents. As you know, when you're trying to catch that knife that's dropping, it could be pretty painful. So the old adage is never try to catch a falling knife. Dr. J is going to try to catch that falling knife, but I'm going to do it very carefully, a little bit at a time. CVM is an excellent company with an excellent trial on head and neck for squamous cell head and neck cancer. And it's the biggest trial ever undertaken, and we're awaiting results. This too seems undervalued, but the chart recently has turned a little negative, and I had huge profits, so I took them today. I'm looking to re-enter lower than where I sold it. How's that? I sold it at about 368, I believe. So I'm looking to re-enter somewhere. I don't want to say because I don't want to upset longs, those that are still long, and I'm not always right. So somewhere in the 3s is where I'm looking to re-enter, but lower than where I sold it. But I'm going to keep an eye on this one. I mean, it's possible I could re-enter this one above where I sold it. So I wouldn't be ashamed to do that. I'm not going to let this one get away from me. I think it's also one with a lot of promise. I talked about CVM in the past. OncoSec Medical. I said in my midday report that I sold 10% of my position. That's accurate. It closed up from where I sold it. I think I sold it at 134. So already I'm losing money. but I redeployed that money in several stocks, one of which is Actinium Pharmaceuticals, and the other one is Advaxis. So let's take a look now at, well, this chart I remarked a couple of times was meta-fair. I don't see anything in this green candle today to make me change my mind. So that's the reason I took a little bit off the table. If the chart turns up, I will get back not only that 10%, but more. Let's see what else. NASDAQ 100. The NASDAQ 100, I expect to make new highs along with the Dow and S&P. I think we're in a Zoom market. So we've been hovering about the 50-day. I said it was a good time to go long as it touches its 50-day. And today it had a nice bounce, opening above yesterday and closing a bit higher. On the day, up over 1%, a little bit better than the Dow. So I still like the NASDAQ. I like the NASDAQ to catch up to its upper trend line. Still big profits ahead. Athersys is, again, I have a huge position in Athersys. And I don't like the chart. I mean, it's testing this 185 level over and over again. If it goes through that level, it could spell trouble down to the 170 area, and then below that even. Let's say the low 150s are possible. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I usually don't fool around selling this one because I'm very high on the fundamentals. But I might sell a small portion if I feel it's going down a lot. All right, so Actinium. By the way, if it bounces off of that 185, substantially off of it, I probably will even add more to my huge position. I like it that much. Actinium Pharmaceuticals. Time for water. Okay, how sweet it is. Actinium Pharmaceuticals, how sweet it is. It finally went through that what was it, 70 cents mark? Where was it? This high today. 69 cents. Finally went through that. Made new highs at 77 cents. And is looking to take out the high of the recent high, I think of the year, of 85 cents. So I think that's very doable. I think it will find support if it goes down any further at the 50-day, which will be probably around 69, 70 cents. So I think the downside is very limited, a couple of pennies. I think the upside is very good. And it too is expecting data. It has two drugs, Iomab and Actimab. I don't know which is A, which is B. I lose track. You know, it's a little confusing for when you have 20 million biotechs that you own. But they're both fabulous. They pre-treat the bone marrow for bone marrow transplants, and they kill cancer cells. And there's also an expansion of the pipeline to include some kind of immunotherapy product. So I'm excited about this one. I think potentially you can make a lot of money on this one if things go good, if things break right for them. Apple is my favorite. Apple and Amazon are my two favorite FANGs. I just picked one at random. to draw a couple of trend lines and take a look at it. Apple is very true to its trend lines going way back this year. And today it found its trend line again. It's kind of like a baby looking for its mommy's nipple to feed on. And it's looking for that trend line to suck up some food like a baby. And it's adhering to that trend line. So I think it'll be doing that for some time in the future as its new product line starts to get gobbled up by the public. I'm going to be buying a new phone, either the XS or the XS Plus, I believe. Or I might even wait for the cheaper version, whatever they're calling it, in October. So I'm excited about Apple. I've always been excited about Apple. And again, Apple and Amazon are my favorites in the FANG. I'm going to pick one to look at each day. Today it was up $1.66, underperforming the rest of the NASDAQ 100, which is unusual for Apple. The NASDAQ 100 was up about 1%, so it underperformed by 1/4%. Apple is one to own and forget about, and that's what you've been doing. And if that's what you've been doing, keep doing it. Keep getting richer. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm running out of words of wisdom. So when I run out of words of wisdom, I've learned that it's time to stop talking and get back to more important things other than just talking stocks. So I'll talk to you about. Well, I'm not going to talk to you about anything profound because I don't know anything profound. All I know is stocks. I'm very, very narrow person. No, that's not true. I know other things. I like chess. I like wine. I like women. You allowed to say that? In any event, Dr. J is a Renaissance man, of course. I'm into a million things. Every sport imaginable I follow. So in any event, I'm going to say bye for now. This has been Dr. J at 11, streaming live from Long Island, New York. Be sure to like us. Be sure to share this link with other people. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.